Hello friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna jump into all things budgeting for your wedding. So strap in, stay tuned, because this is gonna be a good one, because you guys know if you're planning a wedding, weddings are stinking expensive. And I found a couple really good tips that have worked for me, so I figured why not go ahead and share them with you guys too. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So first things first, you need to decide what type of wedding you want to have. Do you want to have a big wedding? Do you want to have a small wedding? What is the absolute max guest count for your wedding? And that's like the first most big thing. Biggest? The first biggest thing. Yeah, I think. That is going to be the most biggest thing that you are going to want to take into consideration. Can I literally not speak today? I'm going to an Italian restaurant tonight with my mom and my friend and her mom. And I'm just like thinking about that really good meal and really good wine. Maybe that's why I can't speak today, I don't know. Your guest count is gonna be one of the biggest things that you're gonna wanna take into consideration early on, because that's what's gonna help you pick your venue and all sorts of other great things down the line. So first things first, what is your max guest count, and then we can go from there. The next thing you want to take into consideration is, do you wanna have a wedding in your hometown, or do you wanna have a destination wedding? Because one can be more expensive and one can be less expensive. Totally your preference and what you and your fiance want to do for your special day. My next tip is everyone that is contributing to your wedding. Get everyone in a nice big group discussion, nice fun family meeting. Just grab everyone that is going to be contributing to your wedding, pull them together, and really figure out how much money is coming from specific people. From your parents, your fiance's parents, whatever the case may be, and really figure out a group number. And that's going to also really help you figure out your budget, just based on what other people are going to be giving you to contribute to your wedding. Really good idea. After you discuss some final details and budgeting with your family members or whoever is contributing to your wedding, make sure you and your fiance sit down as well and really go over all the information that you've gone over the last couple days, or whenever you guys decide to do this, and sit down and make sure it works for you guys. Make sure it's what you're wanting, because ultimately it's your guys' day, and sometimes family opinions can get in the way of that. We don't want that to happen. So just make sure you and your fiance are consistently on the same page throughout the entire wedding planning process, because not only is that going to make it more fun for you guys, but it's also going to really feel like both of you are contributing in a ton of different ways. Just plan accordingly when it comes to how much money you're going to budget out for each vendor, for your photographer, videographer, if you're going to have a photo booth or something fun like that, or florists, catering. You need to have a number in mind for every single section of your wedding. If you're trying to stay on budget, you have to do that, right? So whether it's looking up, you can find like different like spreadsheets and things like that on Google, and you can like type in the amount of money that you want to spend for your entire wedding, and then also plug in different numbers for how much you think you want to spend on a florist, how much you think you want to spend on your photographer, things along those lines, how much you want to spend on your dress, your shoes, your fiance's tux, or whatever the case may be. I'm just kind of like going off of like my personal wedding right now, just like thinking about it in my head, but that will help you a ton, because then it'll calculate it and you'll see at the bottom like how much money you actually have left, and that could be like the saving grace to your wedding. Going back to the whole good deal situation when you're trying to pick a vendor, just do your research is ultimately what it comes down to. Like, don't pick a mediocre photographer just because the price looks better than someone that's more expensive. Someone's probably a little bit more pricey because they have more experience and their photos are probably better, right? Now that's not always the case, but just keep that in mind. Do your research and just don't try to always look for the best deal when you're trying to plan a wedding, is all I'm trying to get at. And one of my last tips, which has been so amazing in my eyes since I've been engaged for over a year. If you have the opportunity to start planning early, definitely do so. We booked our venue like almost a couple months. Actually, I think it was a couple months after we got engaged last year, and that was the best thing that we could have done. Got first dibs on all of our vendors, on our venue, our photographer, I mean, all of the above. And it also gives you a little extra time to budget for some things as well. So if you want to maybe spend a little bit more money on a really great photographer, if you're planning your wedding in advance, you also have extra time to kind of save a little bit more money and make sure that you're planning your dream wedding that you've always wanted. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I can't think off the top of my head right now in regards to budgeting, but again, one really big tip is to download a budgeting sheet. You can, like I said, get them on like Google or something like that, download it into an Excel file, and you can pop some numbers in there, play with some numbers. Just make sure you are keeping track and recording all of those transactions that are going through. I have literally even sat down and like marked everything that I've purchased for our wedding so far, how much it costs, where I got it from, because that's just helpful for me, right? Because yes, you know, the big vendors and things are probably going to be the most chunk of your money, but you're also going to probably have to spend your money on some little things too. So you just don't want to be going over budget if you don't need to. So biggest tip out of this entire budgeting video that I want you guys to know is just stay organized and make sure you are putting your money in the right areas. And really talk to your fiance to figure out what are the big items that you guys want to make sure you spend a good chunk of money on. Is a photographer super important to you? For us, it was. Is a really good videographer important to you? Sometimes it might not be. For us, it is. But it just depends on your preference, and it's gonna be great. Alright guys, so that will conclude today's budgeting video. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any other questions or anything like that, leave them down in the comments below. And as always, if you don't follow me on my social medias yet, make sure you do. I will have them on the screen here. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.